Sitting here on my living room couch in the 757, a place that you know well, both the 757 and sitting on living room couches here. We could run through the long list of great Hokies that you recruited out of this neck of the woods. I'd leave somebody out, but of course, Vic and Hall and Rouse and Chancellor. Do you have a couple recruiting stories from this neck of the woods that still stick out these days?
Oh, a couple of them really. Uh, Cam Chancellor is a good one. Cam played quarterback in high school and he was a good athlete, but you look at him at quarterback and he's not exactly what you would think we need at this level. But Kurt Newsom came on our staff and they had been recruiting Cam at James Madison. And so he said, "Look, I think we need to go there and look at this guy." And so we did, and we ended up offering him a scholarship. You got to like Cam Chancellor when you talk to him and see him, and then you start looking into his athletic ability. So I can remember we started him out our first practice in pads. We had him at strong safety, I believe, and he knocked a guy out, and the ball came tumbling out. And I said, I think that's probably a pretty good move, giving this old boy a scholarship at Virginia Tech. And then oh man, could he hammer a guy when he came up from that safety position? I mean, he just stopped people dead in their tracks. So, I remember that one. And then I remember Chuck Clark. And no one was recruiting Chuck Clark. And Joe Jones, who had played tight end here for us, said, "Hey, I got a guy you ought to take." And you look at him, and he wasn't flashy, but I really had a great respect for Joe Jones and his opinion. So we took Chuck Clark. And another similar story, just a good athlete, understood the game, very intelligent, just signed a big contract with the professional team. And I asked Joe Jones the other day, did he get any of that money back? Because if Joe Jones had not have said, "Hey, this is a guy you should take," I don't think Chuck Clark would have been at Virginia Tech. And that would have been a bad loss for us. But then look where he is today and how successful he's been. So, there's quite a few of those really that you see. And that's, people ask me a lot of times, did you ever want to coach in the pros? And I had a couple of opportunities. But I really enjoyed seeing people like Chuck Clark come into a place and see how they were when they left. And, you had a effect on their lives, and that's a big development period in there when you're 18 to 22, 23. And so I really enjoyed that part of it.
You talk about the relationships between coach and player. I want to ask you about relationships between coach and coach. Obviously, you've got a son in the family business. Shane is at Oklahoma. You're also very close with Justin Fuente, who came in and filled your shoes. Coach Beamer, I wonder, how much advice do you offer coaches, especially those that are close to you in blood and also in status, like Coach Fuente?
If they ask me for an opinion, I certainly give it. But I think both those people that you mentioned, Justin and my son Shane, they got it figured out. They understand. I really, look at Shane, and he's very detailed, hardworking, really cares about his players, has respect for his players, and Justin the same way. And so I think they pretty well got it figured out. But with Babcock, he knows that anything that they need me to do, that they feel like I could be helpful, just ask me, because this place here, Virginia Tech, has given me so much and been so important in my life and my family's life. And any way I can go back and help Virginia Tech, then I'm certainly going to do that.
You talk about Virginia Tech, and we all know the success that you had there. Coach, you're a Hall of Famer here locally, National College Football Hall of Fame. But those first few years in Blacksburg, 24, 40, and 2 to start out, that might not happen this day and age. Were you worried at any point early on that this thing might not turn around the way it obviously eventually did?
Let's take the might not out there. It would not happen in today's world. I can promise you. And I spoke to a group on campus, and they asked me that question. I said, no, I never, and maybe I was just too dumb to know, but I never seriously thought about that part of it, because I knew, first of all, we had some scholarship reduction when I came here. And I really preached that, you lose, I think it's 28 over 4 years. Well, in your third and fourth and fifth year, that's when those guys, you really feel that, because that's when they should be playing for you. And there was 30 some players that was not playing for us. So it just takes time to get through that. So, in the end, I thank goodness Dave Brain understood what was happening, and Dave met with me every Sunday and would go over what happened in the game, and I'd explain it to him. And I think Dave understood that I was really interested in the kid, really interested in them getting a degree from Virginia Tech. I really cared about the program and really cared about the kids, and thank goodness I had Dave there, and in today's world, I don't think it would happen.
Just a couple more for you, Coach.
Okay.
4 years ago, you retired. We know that you've certainly been staying busy because we see you quite a bit doing Virginia Tech stuff, but I'm not sure a 50-day period without any live sports and the ability to go outside is the sort of retirement that you were envisioning. What are you doing these days, sir?
I tell people all the time, but Cheryl and I are there at home by ourselves. We've only had 3 fights, and she won 2 of them. And no, we get along great, and it's great to have a great companion in this time too. I can tell you that. But I come over to school, and we walk outside. Coach Young, the basketball coach, and John Boleyn, my administrative assistant, guy that I really relied on a lot. We walk around, and so I look forward to that. And so we're staying busy. I was on the college playoff committee for the past 3 years, and I enjoyed that. That kept me busy on Monday and Tuesday during the season, and so I'm staying active and doing quite a bit of speaking, and so I'm better active than not, like most of us, I think. So we're doing okay.
Final question for you, and I briefly brought this up to you when we interviewed you at the Norfolk Sports Club, but the first college bowl game I ever attended was that 95-96 Sugar Bowl. Virginia Tech against the Texas Longhorns in New Orleans. Yeah. We lived in Houston at the time. We received tickets from a Longhorn alum because New Orleans is where my dad grew up. So we went to the game. Family was cheering for the Longhorns, being from Texas, of course. But when the Hokies started mounting that 31-point comeback, my brother, who was 8 years old at the time, switched allegiances, turned his Texas Longhorn shirt inside out, and started rooting for your Hokies, Coach. I'm wondering if maybe that was what potentially ignited this huge run of success for decades.
Yeah, I'm asked all the time what are the greatest games Tech ever played. Of course, the national played for the national championship is got to be number one. And my only regret really is that we didn't get back and win the national championship. But then that Sugar Bowl, I think that's one that put us in a different category. Playing in a major bowl against a major team and winning and doing it in a flashy manner, really dramatic manner. I think that's one that people thought of Virginia Tech different the next day than they did before that game.